Hey, handsome.
Hey, beautiful.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm tired, but good. We're
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
We're here
I'm tired
together.
too.
Much better mood than we have been.
That's true. Yeah, we're in a much better mood today than we were yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
So what are we doing this evening?
okay, so this evening we're reacting to a soft white underbelly video that came across my For You page on TikTok.
Okay, who is this person?
It's a divorce attorney's thoughts on love and marriage. And his name is James Sexton, I think, is who it is.
I don't know anything about him or anything.
No,
that has...
I don't know anything about him either. Okay, the only thing that I saw, right, is so it's like the classic TikTok where like someone comes across your For You page and they go like, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this person talk about this?" And then like they play like a short blip or whatever, and like half the time I'm just like, "Oh, okay, like I'll check them out or whatever," and then the other half of the time it's like just Joe Rogan saying the dumbest fucking shit you ever heard in your life, and you're just like, "Okay," and then you just keep moving. So, but this guy's a divorce attorney and he's talking about marriage, and I pre-watched like the first 3 minutes of this video, and I was like, "Oh no." I was like, I genuinely, this is like all the worst things and the worst advice I've seen about marriage and stuff. Yeah. And so like, I don't know. I watched the first 3 minutes of this video, and this is like some of the worst like dude bro,
energy,
toxic alpha male energy shit that they've like people put out lately. And they're talking about marriage, and like obviously we have very strong opinions about marriage. Not the authority on marriage,
definitely not.
but I think our relationship has been better than most of our friends, most of our family.
Yeah, I would agree. And I feel like I feel like at least once a year, especially around our anniversary, actually, we take time, even though our anniversary is right by Christmas, we take time to reflect on the year and then like what things we can grow as. We try to make sure, like, one of the things we try and do is like go over our vows again to remember why we got married and like what it comes down to. And not saying that our vows are like set in stone or anything, but that's like what we promised each other when we got married and trying to fulfill. So I watched 20 seconds of this video so far, and it can be a little vulgar with language and stuff, so if you're watching, don't be offended.
Okay.
I had a period of time after my divorce where I was really ambitious when it came to women, but then it felt like a job. Like it felt like a job after a while, where I was like, God, this is like enough. It's kind of enough, you know. Like it's like when you've eaten so much that you just go like, ugh. I got that way with pussy. Like it really was like I just had enough. Like it was fine. I was like, this is great, but
well, when you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe. Yeah. Your libido is a strong, it makes you insane.
Yeah. I was not. I definitely was.
As we age, we mellow.
Yeah, which I think is great. Although I have to tell you, one of the most depressing divorces I ever did was a guy who was, I think, 92.
Oh, geez.
And what made it depressing is that he had left his wife of, I don't know, 50-something, 60-something years for a younger woman, a woman in her 50s. And I just remember what was sad about it to me was this guy is still being led around by his dick. Like I thought, oh my God, like I'm going to be chained to an idiot forever. Like I'm going to forever be led around by my dick. And I remember thinking like, no, I really thought that at like 90 something, I would just like a beautiful woman would walk by and I go, oh, there's a human being. Like there would be no.
You can appreciate it without.
Yeah, there would just be no sense of like, yeah, you know, that would be gone from me. And this guy's proof that 90 something years old and you're still thinking with your dick. Like
we're doomed.
That terrified me. It really did. It actually upset me because I thought at some point I'd get to experience what it's like to just be free.
You live in New York where there's a financial industry. There's all kinds of industries here.
Oh yeah.
But to me, sometimes I wonder if female attractiveness isn't the highest valued commodity in our
100% it is. 100%.
It is.
Yeah, of course.
Because men are becoming rich and powerful in order to get a woman.
Of course.
The woman they want.
Of course. What an attractive woman. And when I say attractive, I don't just mean attractive. I mean even just sexually confident. I mean, what an unbelievably lucrative career that is. Like I do divorces for people that, you know, a woman walks out with $200-300 million. He was an analyst at Goldman Sachs who built a hedge fund and then sold it and then used his trading algorithm to build it up to $500 million. She was hot and slept with him for a while and then stopped and started sleeping with other people and playing tennis and having Botox. And she...
What?
Okay. The way they're talking about women already.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because they're acting like the man has no problems either. The way, like, it's just the woman's fault.
Right.
The woman took the money and then left. No, there's probably reasons why they divorced you.
Yeah.
But the 90-year-old, that made me really sad.
Well, yeah, that makes me sad, but it's such a dumb... Okay, like, being led around by your dick...
Yeah, I was going to say that. Even though I'm not a male, I was like, I feel like you grow out of that. And, like, if you're literally, like, being led around by your dick, then you just need to grow up. And your mentality is
I think I partially agree with you. I think there's just the kind of guy who will just forever be led around by his dick. I don't know if they can grow out of it or if they even take it upon themselves to like figure it out, but like at a certain point you either give it up or you realize like it's just dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I know I don't understand that 100% because I'm
well,
not the same, but
like
I don't get that. Like,
right, but like we've talked about this before where like I've been keep getting like presented with like, you know, it's like, oh, like Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Like he keeps like divorcing his like wife or whatever and then like finding a younger girlfriend like every time, right? And he's the dude's like 60 something now and he's got like another 20 something. Okay. We've talked about this. I think dating younger at a certain point, like a year or two, whatever, okay? Going back to like the early 20s, like when you're in your 30s or 40s, I would never do that.
No.
Never. The maturity level at that point, the life experience, that would be so annoying.
Even if that person is very mature, like, still probably no. It still probably would be, there'd still be very annoying moments because those are things that you would have outgrown.
Right.
It's different when you're the same age or close in age and going through the same life stuff, yeah. Because you guys are going through that immaturity stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you go from like 30, 40 to like a 20-year-old or early 20s, you have so much life to be figuring out.
I know.
We just hit our mid-20s and I feel like we have so much still to figure out.
Right. Well, and I already can tell, like, I think this is like selection bias because it's like, he's a lawyer, right? He's a divorce attorney. I think he already makes like a certain level of money above the average person, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so a lot of times I feel like with these freaking guys who are like trying to give like this alpha bro advice about women like always like trying to steal their money and shit, they just make a lot of money or they pretend like they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's like, for the average guy, they don't really need to worry about this.
Yeah.
Even assuming there is the woman out there that's like trying to target him.
Yeah.
Well,
and most women are not after men just for their money.
I know, but like that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's hard for me to take these people seriously when it's like the rich giving advice to poor people, and it's like just stop eating avocado toast. But it's like the dating version of that, I guess. Like I don't know. It's so out of touch. We're definitely in different tax brackets, bro.
100%.
If you're assuming that women are even like this, I don't know. It's just trash.
Let's continue.
All right.
She's going to get half. Like, that's fucking incredible. Like, do you know what he had to do to get that? And what she had to... I'll fuck that guy for $200 million. Are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. That's incredible. Like, and God bless. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the rules of the game, you know, but you can't argue that that's not easier than going to Harvard.
No, for sure. But then the payoff.
Well, and on top of that, you can't even say that because you could do a prenup. Like, there's nobody stopping you from doing a prenup if you really are worried about someone divorcing you and taking all your money.
I'm pretty sure later on the video he's like super into like recommending prenups. I think that's actually from the TikTok that I watched because I saved the TikTok. I'll lace it in here what she said, but it was like, oh, I don't even like believe in a marriage without getting a prenup. But like, I thought that was important because like both of us got married with like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like what we have together now, I mean. We have a lot more than we did.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We don't have as much. Like,
no. Like So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, if you have millions, billions, hundreds of thousands of dollars in investment, get the freaking prenup, sure. But like, it's just like, I don't know. It's for me, it's just like it's a very weird.
I feel like that's a very like easy answer.
Yeah.
Though. So I don't know.
The trade-off for that is that when they hit a certain age, the value decreases.
Play it right. Play any stock, if you hold it too long, it's going to go down. You know, like, so play the stock the right way. I mean, and that's what I think. If we were a little more honest about the nature of male-female coupling, I mean, right now we can't even establish what is gender. You know, we can't establish.
Okay, that's fucking stupid. But also, okay, saying women have like an expiration date.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Okay, then you're not really valuing the woman as a woman, because I feel like.
Well, that's not even
like, it's something that I see, and it's kind of corny, but really, like, when you marry someone, you're like, oh, I want you to stay the same forever. No, that woman is gonna, like, say we got married at 21.
Yeah.
I was single in nursing. Well, single. We were single in nursing school. Like, we didn't have any kids. We didn't have anything. I feel like I'm a new woman from graduating and getting in my career. Like, I've grown, I've changed.
Yeah.
And then becoming a mom, I've grown into a whole different woman. Like,
right.
I still have carried on, like, a lot of my traits and everything, of course.
Yeah.
But I have changed a lot, and I feel like you just keep loving me more and more every day.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Well, we married each other because we love each other.
Yeah. So,
and this is like, this is treating relationships like a transaction.
Yeah.
It is like it's quite literally being like, we're only in this relationship because I find you attractive. At least from this guy's freaking perspective.
Yeah, and
right?
that's not how you can look at relationships.
No, and it pisses me off that this is even like this, because it's like, I don't understand who this is the advice for, because it's like, if you're like,
it feels like it's for men.
Well, it's definitely for men, but it's for like, if we're being realistic, this is actually only advice for like very rich men.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is that this is like targeted at like the blue collar dude, or like the guy who's embarrassed that he's not rich yet, who thinks he's gonna be rich tomorrow. So he's like thinking ahead, being like, well, I'll be rich tomorrow, so I gotta be picky about the women I choose, and I gotta treat my relationships like it's a problem, or like it could be a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, when you're not, you gotta treat your relationship like it could be a problem, in the sense that if you don't invest the time and energy into your relationship, then obviously it's gonna be a problem later on. Not, she's gonna steal your money. That's why, I don't know. It just makes me sick. All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Establish any of that anymore. So divorce has become incredibly hilarious and fraught.
Well, to me, what is, like, sometimes you have to stand back and look at things to get the real perspective on what it is. Sure. And sometimes you look back at marriage. So when was it invented? Like 2000 BC, roughly. And the life expectancy of humans back then was 18 years old. Yeah. And marriage was created for land ownership and things like that. Yeah. And if you're going to die in your early 20s or whatever, then getting married at 16, 18 makes sense. Well,
I think there's a distinction that has to be made between pair bonds and marriage, right? Marriage is a government concept. Marriage is a contract. Marriage is a legal status. Pair bonds, right? Two people go in it together, saying, hey, there's 7.3 billion people in the world, and the two of us, we're gonna lock up together, and we're gonna try to hold hands and get through this thing.
Until we're 80 years old.
Well, until whatever, I mean, what's interesting is, first of all marriages end. They end in death or divorce, but they all end. Like, every marriage ends. So it's one of the only things that you go, wow, I really hope this ends in us dying. Most things, that's not the desired outcome. But in marriage, you hope marriage will end in death. You hope that you will be together until one or both of you die. But all marriages end.
But so, as a guy, as a provider, if you knew it was going to end and you were going to have to give away half your money, you might think twice about doing it.
Well, I think that's what makes being a divorce lawyer interesting, is that it's a lot of what a court has to do is disregard what happened in the marriage, because the truth is at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Like, you're never going to get there. Yeah, well, he's fucking his secretary. Right, because you were not sleeping with me anymore. I have a client whose wife acknowledges she didn't sleep with him for 6 years. What did you think was going on if you didn't sleep?
But did you ask why he wasn't, like, she wasn't sleeping with him? Like, there's a lot of things that lead up to someone not wanting to sleep with you.
There's tons of reasons. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like, he has all the facts, and like, I don't disagree with his sentiment. Like, the truth lies at the bottom.
Yeah,
of it.
100%.
Yeah, but like, there's always two sides to the story, right?
100%.
You know, I don't know. It just already though it seems predatory towards women, antithetical towards women. I'm sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Hostile. It seems already hostile towards women.
Yeah.
With him for 6 years. So delegate. You've delegated that responsibility. If you don't want to have sex with him, that's okay. No one should force you to have sex with this person. Let him go have sex with someone else. You don't want to do the laundry, hire someone to do the laundry. If you don't want to mow your own lawn, hire someone to mow the lawn. Delegate that responsibility. And this guy wasn't even sleeping around. He was going to those hand job places, where you get a massage and you get the most pathetic thing in the world, the most innocuous thing in the world. He didn't have a girlfriend. There was no love involved. He was getting jacked off for $50. Like, that's sad. Like, I mean, first of all, hand jobs, like, that's an outdated technology. That's like a Betamax, like who even does that anymore? But he was doing this and he just thought, okay, that's fine. She had the indignation to say, he shouldn't be a custodial parent. He's a terrible person because he's doing this. And it was like, wait, how is that much different than going to a strip club? How is that much more different? Because we just, he was like, well, should I deny it? And I was like, is it true? And he's like, well, yeah. I said, no, we should own it. Let's go in and say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. My wife didn't sleep with me for 6 years, and I'm human, and I wanted to have sex still. I didn't want to blow up my life. I didn't want to screw up my kids and have my kids have divorced parents. So I thought, all right, she's clearly not interested in me anymore. I'm not going to have a girlfriend and get caught up in all the things where people could get hurt and there's feelings and fatal attraction and stuff. I'm just going to go. It'll be transactional, like going to a strip.
Okay, that seems very convenient as an argument. Like, I know he's a lawyer, but like,
yeah.
Oh, I don't want to blow up my marriage, so I'll just go get a hand job from one of those like happy time places.
Okay, but they're only taking his side though.
I know.
Only talking about his side, like. What, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Well, no, the problem is, it's like, I get we're like getting the perspective of a divorce attorney, but it's like, but like from a relationship perspective, like it's a two. We need the two. Like, it's just like, this is a weird argument to be having where it's just like, yeah, I was this guy's attorney and I was on his side, and it's like, no shit. It's like, okay, buddy.
Club or anything else, and is it a little pathetic that I'm a guy who makes $1 million a year in finance and I'm paying someone $50 to jack me off? Yeah, that's kind of pathetic, but you know what? I figured out. But to suggest that means I'm a bad parent, that has nothing to do with my parenting at all, period. So, and thankfully the judge agreed with me on that one. But I really do think that the idea, I don't think, if you break it down fundamentally, 56% of marriages end in divorce. Like, think about, that's the ones that end in divorce. So how many people, what percentage stay together for the kids? Or because they don't want to give away half their shit? Another 10%? That's conservative.
Conservative.
But let's say 20% then, okay?
That's at least right.
You now have a technology that fails 76% of the time. That's insane. That's insane. That's more likely than not. 76%. If I told you there's a 76% chance when you walk out the door today, you're going to get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would not go out, or you'd wear a helmet for sure. But
okay, I don't know if they're going to get into this, but like, there are reasons outside of marriage as a concept why people in marriages don't last very long.
Yeah.
Like, the very state of like how men are raised and our emotional intelligence probably plays a huge factor in why women and men get divorced constantly.
Yeah.
Okay? Not to mention like all the like terrible stuff that happens with like trying to pay the bills, jobs, freaking how bad the economy is. Like, how many marriages ended in 2008 with the recession?
Probably
and like, yeah, like what? I feel like everybody's parents was getting divorced when I was a kid then. Like
well, and sometimes, not saying this happens often, but sometimes parents get a divorce to be able to get benefits that you can't
Oh,
get
yeah, like,
together.
now,
Like,
yeah.
even if they stay together.
Yeah, like
But
Medicaid and benefit. Yeah, like there's tons of stuff now where like, or even like healthcare. Like you have to
Yeah.
freaking like you have to get divorced so that you qualify as a single parent or whatever, and then you get the benefits again. So like
Yeah.
people are getting divorced like strategically
yeah.
to get benefits so they don't die or whatever. Like
yeah.
there's so many reasons why people get divorced today, and like just being like it's not worth it. Like I don't know what that means.
Well, and I really just hate how he separates marriage and paragard. The reason, or is that where he said paragard?
Parenting or what?
No, he called two people.
He said like
para something.
like a social pair or something like
Yeah.
that, or a partnership,
Anyways,
whatever.
Most of the time, people don't get married just to be, oh, we're getting the government, we're getting a contract involved. No, they're doing it because they are being two people, being paired together, like being like, oh, I want to work through this. Not just because he said that a little bit farther back, but I'm just like, so even already.
When we got married, yeah, it wasn't like a strategic thing to do.
No.
We got married because we believe in marriage, despite not being religious. We believe in like marriage as like a commitment to each other. We've kind of like taken the secular perspective of marriage, where it's just like we love each other, we believe in each other, we believe in our relationship, and we want to be so committed that like that's as committed as we can get under our society, right?
Exactly.
Like I don't know how else like we can even commit to ourselves even more besides like, you know, doing more work in our own marriage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like that's why it's like it's such a this is like such a weird opinion to have about marriage.
Yeah, I would agree.
People just continue to get married. Not only do they continue to get married, there's a presumption that you should get married. And if you don't get married, there's something wrong with you. So if you've got a girlfriend and you've been with her for 5 years and you say to someone, we're getting married, they go, oh, that's great. You know, they don't go, why? You're happy. Why would you get married? Like everything's going fine. Why would you put yourself through that? Why would you run that risk? If you say to someone, we've been together 5 years and we've decided we're not going to get married. We're going to move in together, but we're not going to get married. Ooh, what's wrong? You have intimacy issues? What's your problem? Meanwhile, 56% end in divorce. It's literally fits the legal definition of negligence. It's a negligent behavior. The way you define negligence in law school is when what you lose by not doing something, okay, is lower than the risk of harm. It's what's called a BPL analysis. So the burden of not doing a thing is lower than the likelihood, the probability of harm. So BPL, so burden, probability, and loss. Marriage is an inherently negligent activity. It's like owning a lion. Like the likelihood of someone getting hurt seriously by this is very, very high. No one ever says it to you. Because why? Because I would say something. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still get misty-eyed at weddings. Like I still really, there's something in me that goes like, you know, maybe it'll work out for these two.
You still
like,
believe
it's
in love?
Sweet. I absolutely believe in love. I think love is wonderful. But love and marriage have very little to do with each other. I don't think there's much of a correlation there.
I don't agree with that, because the whole reason people get married is because they love each other and they are trying to commit themselves to each other.
Yeah.
It's
well,
and this kind of goes with him a little bit, but like people can outgrow each other. Like people change, and sometimes people outgrow their love, and that is okay. And yeah, that could be why people get divorced.
Yeah.
But there's also plenty of people that get divorced that don't have kids and stuff, and it's just because they're like, okay, this is not working for us anymore. Like,
right.
And they go their separate ways.
Yeah, there's like amicable like divorces, right? Yeah, like what percentage of divorces end like amicably, where like they don't steal half each other's shit? They're just like, you know what, the dog was always
like,
yours,
okay, let's just,
or they do just split it and they don't care.
Because they're like, okay, we worked equally for this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like his perspective on marriage, and yes, he is a lot older than us, but still, I don't agree. Like,
I got nothing against tattoos, but I think his arm tattoos are a bit weird that he's an attorney.
Yeah, a little.
I think it's a little weird. I don't know. That makes me think he was like a defense attorney for a very long time.
Maybe.
Then he was like, oh, I'm a divorce attorney now. I don't know. Nothing against tattoos. I want tattoos. I was just, What?
I said probably to make more money.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that's where we got off track. Like, I believe in pair bonds. I don't think I can learn everything I need to know about myself from myself. I think having someone around me who sees my blind spots, and that doesn't have to be a romantic partner. That could be a friend. That could be any number of things. But there is.
True. I mean, I'm not saying this is like the end all be all, but
Yeah, I would agree.
but like, I'm definitely a better person because we're married.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like we both have grown so much because, like, friends can tell you to a certain extent.
Friends pull their punches a lot. Like, yeah, good friends will like give you the good like talking to sometimes, but like, your friend is only.
You don't really get those good punches.
No,
like metaphorically.
Yeah.
Until you are in like a committed relationship that you don't want to leave, like that you want to stay in and work things through.
I mean, unless
you don't realize, and sometimes you don't even realize the things that you need to work on.
No, and like that's what I'm trying to think is like maybe if your best friend lives with you and you have to work together like a relationship beyond doing stuff together, but like,
best friends try and not live with each other for that reason.
Yeah, because
they don't want their
they get on each other.
to
exactly.
Be broken because of it.
Watch him like recommend that like if you do love each other, you should live in different apartments or houses or some stupid shit. Oh my god! But I don't know.
Something wonderful about romantic connection. We know that. I mean, the other statistic is 56% of marriages end in divorce, but 84% of people who get divorced are remarried within 5 years of their divorce.
Really?
So think about that. So now you've done it and failed and felt the pain of the loss, and within 5 years, 84% are remarried.
So when you fall in love and you're with a partner who's in love with you,
sure.
It's like hard to put the brakes on and say, you know what, that's as far as I'm going to go.
Well, I think whoever discovered water, it wasn't a fish. And I think when we're in a thing, we don't see it. And so, I mean, and this is true of any of us.
There must be some endorphins, something's being released in our brains.
It's a piece. Listen, you want to test that.
You don't have endorphins your entire fucking marriage.
No,
I don't know what he's talking.
There's highs and lows. But also, another thing is, within these divorce rates, do we even talk about how long people know each other, or like maybe?
Yeah, because like I'd like to see like the breakdown of like, okay, if
and how long
did they date prior? You know, like how young were they when they started dating, and then like when did they get married after that, and then like I don't know, income level is probably relevant too as far as like maintaining a relationship.
Because I feel like the average for this is me guessing just from like all the people we know that have gotten married. Like 2 or 3 years is the longest they've dated. Like, I've seen people get engaged after 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
And actually quite a few people at 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it just makes me wonder too, because we were together, don't get me wrong, we were high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
I think if we weren't high school sweethearts, maybe we would have only been together for 3 years, maybe before getting married. But who knows? But we were together for 5 years. We got married on our 5th year anniversary.
Yeah.
So.
Well, also being high school sweethearts, statistically, the odds are against us.
Yeah.
Because like the majority of like high school sweethearts that get married or whatever like end in divorce, like at a much higher rate than the average. I'm pretty sure.
But we also 5 years of dating before even getting married.
Exactly. Yeah.
And most high school sweethearts get married right after high school
I know,
too.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different as well. So
that theory, the next time you're out with a couple who've been together for a while and it like seems like they maybe got in a fight or they're just like kind of being, impatient with each other at the table, when you go like a group thing, just say to them, so tell me about how you met. Tell me the story of how you met. And everything on them changes. Like they go back to that place. And there's this like, oh yeah, and she was this. Because for that second, you go back to that place. Like you can go, someone with a horrible divorce, if you could get them to go to that place and talk to you about that time. Like I would tell you something, when I was a kid, like every kid, you have the fantasy of like, if you were invisible, what would you do? You'd go to the girls' locker room, whatever. I have this fantasy that if I could be invisible, I have about 8 clients that I'd like to sneak into their house and find their wedding album. Like I know it's in the attic somewhere or something, because I would love to see what it looked like when these people loved each other, because they are weaponized against each other now, and we are trying to kill each other, and we're taking every secret, every intimacy, everything, and we're just
at their ugliest,
at their worst. And there's something in me that just the thought that like, you guys at some point, you were like, there's 7.3 billion people in the world and you're the one. Like, you're the one I just want to be with and smell and touch, and like that feeling, we all know that feeling of like just the electricity of another person, you know? And I think I'm a romantic at heart in the sense that I really get it. Like I really get why we do this. I felt it, I know it, I understand it. But tying that to the technology of marriage to me makes almost no sense whatsoever. And I actually think it's almost antagonistic to that connection with another person, because there's so much expectation that comes with marriage culturally. We've created so much stuff around it. Like when you marry someone, they're supposed to be, at least in the modern Western model, your best friend, best roommate, best co-parent, best travel partner, best roommate, best everything, best activity partner. Like how would one person be?
Okay, yes, I agree to a certain extent, your best everything. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to uphold those expectations forever. Because there's times where traveling for us, we've not always been the best traveling partners. I mean, we'll get mad at each other, but then we'll like apologize a little bit later and be like, I'm sorry, I'm just tired, or I was hungry.
Yeah.
So we're not always each other's best. And we're not always each other's, like, you are my best friend. But there's times when I feel like we're not, like,
well, there's like the ideal, and then there's like
the reality
and the expectation, right? And it's like we strive for the ideal, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we're at our current reality and we have expectations of each other, and that's why we deviate between like happy and upset with each other in certain situations. Okay, and I know there's like an expectation here, but like you can only hold your partner to that expectation to the point that it's like, one, that it's reasonable, but two, that like you're willing to understand that they're human. So it's like, yeah, you weren't really great in the airplane security line or whatever, but we're both starving because we woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We had to get the baby up.
I've been dealing with the baby more than you have.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little more snappy with you because I'm like, okay, I'm the one carrying with the baby, taking care of the baby, and you're telling me this, and I'm like, stop.
Yeah. Well, it's not just all rainbows and sunshine all the freaking time. That's why this is a weird take to have. I don't know.
Another thing, and he is, I mean, we're kind of agreeing with him. Like, we don't need to be best. But I don't like video games, and you love video games. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's the one that we kind of play sometimes, but or sometimes a few others. But, like, I don't love video games. If you could, if we weren't parents, you would play them a lot more.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's just not my hobby. But we do have hobbies together. Like, we like reading together, even though we keep talking about doing our own little book club. We still haven't, but we're parents and we're busy.
Yeah, we are busy.
But we like hiking and being outdoors together, taking Emerson to the park and stuff like that. So there are areas that we are like, we have a ton of hobbies, but and you're the best hobbyist. What did he say? Whatever. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But so that's all I have to say.
Oh, I got you.
All of those things. That's insane. Like if I was interviewing for a job and said, I want you to be the best typist, and I also want you to be best on the phone, and I also want you to be great at that. And I ran down a list of dissimilar things. Like, or if I went to an amazing chef and I said, I know you're a great chef, but can you farm? Like, well, that has to do with food, but they're not the same thing. Like, what are you talking? So I think, why do we put on?
Again, this is like, are you willing to work on these things and strive to try to be better? Or are you going to just like fall back and like submit to this idea that you're always going to be set in your ways?
Right.
Because like, don't get me wrong, I'm very against the idea that like men can change women and women can change men, and they're like, oh, I can fix him, or oh, I can fix her, kind of crap. I don't believe in that kind of crap. But we do, and we've talked about this, we believe in like you know, criticizing each other, but giving each other like constructive criticism and working on stuff to be better about stuff, right?
100%.
And so like, yes, there's expectations to be better at things, but it's like, I don't think you're going to be the best at everything. You're not going to be the best wife in the world all the time. I'm not going to be the best. I mean, you are to me because I'm not going to marry anyone else, but like, I'm not going to be the best husband in the world all the time. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go cheat.
Right.
Like, you know,
same.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's, I get what he's saying, like, but I don't think his, like, I don't think this analogy works very well because, like, obviously I'm not going to ask...
Well, his rationale is not...
No, it doesn't make any fucking sense. No. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to ask my mechanic to fucking make me a tiramisu dessert. Like, it's like, why would I do that? But it's just like... But when... In the realm of relationships, what he's basically saying that is that there's people that will always be bad at relationships. That there is no room to grow. That there is...
Which isn't true.
Not necessarily. Yeah. Like, again, the person who is like that is not willing to grow.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person I don't like.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is like what's so weird is like he's like selecting for the worst kind of person already.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, an example, going back to when you started the conversation a little bit, is like your video games. You used to play them all the time, and then you would get mad because you would say, "Oh, you don't have your own hobby. I'm just your hobby because I would always want to hang out with you."
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hang out with you because I love you and I have fun with you.
Right.
But for example, I have grown in that aspect. Like, I'm starting to enjoy reading again. Like, I really enjoy reading. And so, like, if you are down here doing something, especially after Emerson goes to bed, I am either going to bed myself or I'm reading a book.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, okay, I'm ready for bed. And I'm like, I don't want to stop reading. But I do because I know I need to go to bed.
Right.
But, like, that's an example of both us growing. Like,
right.
I don't like your... But I don't bitch about your video games unless there's doing my little thing.
Right. But also,
unless they're coming to bed at, like...
3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, no, I know.
Kind of past 10 o'clock, 10:30, really.
I know. But also that's, like, the wherewithal, too, in our relationship where it's, like, I understand now divvying up my time where it's, like, yes, it's important for me to have me time and stuff, and we've talked about that, but, like, also when it's a problem. And like, and me playing video games all the time used to be a problem, right? Because it's like we weren't spending time together, we weren't doing fun things together. It was just like I was working, and then I wanted to play video games, right? So it's like we've grown, we do stuff together all the time, and now I have like a better sense of like a use of our time and a better use of my time. Yeah, in a lot of regards.
Also our time as parents too.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, and it's not just divvied up between you and me and our own time now. It's divvied up between our time, parent time, and our like our time, parent time, and then the baby's time as well. So it's and baby's time is the most important.
Yeah.
But our time is very important too because, which is something we've talked about, is like we need to be going on more date nights.
Yeah.
Once we start making more money again. Because it's really important just for parents to get out and us have time.
Yeah, to get a breather.
Yeah, and like this is kind of like a little date, I feel like, in a way, which I like because we get to just kind of talk about stuff that we normally don't talk about or things that we would talk about on a date, which is funny. But yeah, it gives us a little breather.
On people, this idea, like whoever came up with the word soulmate, really we should be paying, like divorce lawyers should be paying that person dividends. Because we've convinced people that if this...
Not to make a side note, remember you used to be like, I don't believe in soulmates, and then you're like, okay, actually I think you're my soulmate.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember what changed my mind.
I don't know, because I did not. So I don't think I did, because I never pressed it either. That was something I didn't really press with you. And then when you told me, especially when you told me I was your soulmate, when in your vows, I was like, oh my God, that melted my heart.
I think it's because I grew up a little bit, and I thought the whole logic bro shit was just kind of dumb. Like, it's like, I don't know, I think it just took some, like, growing up for me. Like, it's like, no, I don't believe in, like, this eternal whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, I think it's pretty magical that we found each other and we love each other so much, right? And it honestly feels like all the time that, like, we're two puzzle pieces that just fit together.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Like, I don't know why, but we do.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why I feel like you're my soulmate.
Yeah, I would agree. That's exactly
There's nothing out there...
That's how I mean when I say soulmate. Right. I feel like you're my missing piece. Like, I feel like you complete me in all the best ways.
Right. I guess I was just resisting the whole, like, astrological.
And-
The
and-
stars aligned.
Which is so funny that you thought that of me because I've never been religious really to you either, and you're like this lady.
No, I just think that, like, the concept's like tied up in a bunch of crap. I don't think you were like.
Person isn't meeting every one of your needs, checking all of these boxes, they're not your soulmate. Your soulmate would know exactly what to do, exactly what to say at exactly the right time. I can go off.
Completely unrealistic expectation to have in a
100%.
relationship.
That's like a robot. Like that's you wanting a robot almost. Like that could read your mind. I feel like.
Okay, but like also this like gets into the like, while nobody will ever check every box for you or whatever, that doesn't mean you're settling either.
Mm-mm.
Like again, it gets into the like what is the ideal and what's realistic, and like people, I don't know if it's our generation or like because obviously this guy's old as shit, but like it. I feel like a lot of young people who are around our age right now have these really unrealistic expectations in their relationships, and I think they just need to fucking grow up. But like, you don't get to check all the boxes. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Like, there's lots of things that like we don't do for each other that like when we read in a spicy book or like we hear about someone else's relationship, we're like, oh, that'd be so great if so and so did that, or like what. But like at the end of the day, it's just
it's just not realistic.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and spicy books are.
Well, sometimes it's a fantasy.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Fantasy's not real. Like,
but you know what? We can. Not saying just with spicy books, but with like certain fantasies, you can still make them come true to a certain
We talk to
degree.
each other about all kinds of stuff. Where we're like, "Hey, would it be hot or cool if we did this?" And you're like, "Yeah." And it's like, then
and if we really didn't think so, we'd be like, not trying to hurt your feelings, but no.
Yeah, and then we just kind of figure it out.
Yeah, and we may be a little booty hurt for a little bit, but then we get over it and we talk about it, or even if we talked about it before, we maybe talk about it a little bit more, or just get over it. It's because it's like, okay, that person just just don't like that, or I just don't like that, or it's just something
but
that we're not ready for.
But I guess like some people think that's like justification to cheat or something. It's not, but
because you can work around it, like find other things, like. And I don't mean this even just in sexual ways.
No,
either.
there's lots of things in our relationship,
ways. Like I do give in and try and play whatever zombie game that is. With
Left 4 Dead, yeah.
Yeah, and it is fun.
Yeah.
But I do get frustrated because I'm not good at it at all.
Yeah.
But there's times I'll sit down here and watch you play so we can just hang out. I mean, we haven't done that here, and we haven't done that in a long time. But like your Lego game, even though
that was fun.
Even though I'm terrible at moving around, I still play it with you.
Yeah, but it's so fun to switch the controller back and forth.
Yeah, because it's like, and then I'm like, okay, I can't get through this. Give it, you do it.
Yeah, it's fun.
But like things like that, we've grown. I feel like I've grown a lot in that aspect because I used to be like, I hate video games. I'm not ever playing with you because I don't like them. Blah. But I've grown.
Yeah.
I've grown, and I'm like, I still give you crap about it. Especially, I feel like it's more when you're frustrating me, and then I get frustrated just with your video games. But
that's fair.
I don't do that very often.
No.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Tend to.
What do you think the secret is to keeping a marriage vital, keeping it alive?
You know, I think people get unhappy in marriages the way that people go bankrupt, which is very slowly and then all at once. I think it's very slow and then it just goes off a cliff. So everybody.
That's not.
I know that's a big reason people get divorced, and that was one promise we made to each other before even getting married: is we will never fight about money. And you know what? In the 4 years we've been married, we have never fought about money.
No.
We have talked about it. We have gotten in like disagreements, but never fought about it. And really, our disagreements have been like not really full disagreements. If that makes sense.
I think how we've managed how we talk about money is like we go, hey, I want to be able to buy this eventually, and then the other person doesn't disregard that person.
Yeah.
We go, you know what, that's right. We should be able to afford something like that. That's a nice thing to have, and I think it's important that you want that. Let's think about getting that in the future, but also we have to realize and prioritize what's more important right now.
Yeah.
And we talk about it and we go, is it realistic right now to go buy a fucking like $90,000 truck for me right now? No, it's not. Yeah, I want a truck. It's important to me eventually.
Yeah.
But like, it's just not realistic.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it's important, but it's like, we're not going to drop all of our financial goals
No.
to like just do that. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. So it's
I
like,
would agree.
I think how we've maneuvered that is just like what I said. It's just like, we let each other know what we want to be able to buy, and then we work out a plan to buy it eventually, or we prioritize properly, and we're just like that. We're just gonna have to put that into.
Well, and we're just being like honest with each other too. Like, you know, that's because we have the 2 credit cards, and we have a little bit of debt on them because of moving out here. And, which you know, and we're gonna get that all paid off like within the next month or so.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal, but like, and it's not even that much, but
no,
it's just like. It's even if it was a lot, we wouldn't be mad at each other because
we talked about it. We did it. We made this decision together.
Yeah, there's reasons why and it's not because we were spending money on things that we didn't need. It was all medical bills, car payment, not car payment, but mainly car stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's about pretty much it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's not like we're buying dumb stuff and racking up our debt just to rack it up to get the nice new shiny thing. No, it's to move out here for one was part of it, and then also the cars, just making sure we could live.
We just need a reliable vehicle. Yeah, it's just like that's like our lifeline right now.
Yeah.
It's just like if that we have to take care of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree. It's just I think it's just weird because it's like people treat money in relationships.
He'll say, well, we divorced because he was cheating or she was cheating, or we divorced because he had an alcohol issue or a drug issue, which lately we're seeing more like alcohol and drugs is a big thing, especially post-pandemic. There's a tremendous amount of substance abuse stuff that's causing a lot of issues in marriages. And certainly like social media has increased the accessibility of adultery and connections to other people and reconnections with people from your past who remind you of a.
Okay, I agree with all these reasons for getting a divorce, to be honest, especially with, like, addiction, because addiction is a disease, and it's hard to get through, and, like, yeah, if you go through rehab and stuff and get better, and if you want to get better and go through rehab and everything works out, that's great, but a lot of times people don't want to go to rehab and don't get through. And so for me, I'm sorry, but like if you became an alcoholic and you did not want to get help, I would be like, okay, we're not staying together because
that's fair.
I've had too much history with that, and I'm just like, I know what consequences, and I don't want Emerson and if and when we have our second baby, for that baby to go through anything like that. It's like I want them to grow up in a very loving, healthy household. Like,
and then like not to cut you off, but like the other half of that too is just like, again, like people can get through addiction issues if they can afford treatment. 100%. So like how many marriages are ending because someone accidentally like had a medical procedure and they got like pain med addicted and stuff like that, right? It's just like, or alcoholism is a lot of times like people switch to alcohol because they can't afford pain meds anymore, stuff like that. So it's just like how many marriages are ended because it's like something kind of got taken out of their hands and they had no control over like their spiral, really.
The nice thing is there's a lot more places that are going, like, not a lot more that are like outpatient that are free or a little bit more affordable if you don't have insurance. Or if your insurance
version of yourself that you felt more excited about because you were younger. So it's, it used to be if you like ran into the girl you banged in high school, it was like once every 10 years at a reunion, or if you lived in the same town as you grew up in, you might run into the person at the Walmart. But now it's like on Facebook, you have all these excuses to be able to chit chat with someone and all these benign entry points,
Okay, I think we've already solved this for our relationship, but like obviously like messaging other people online is like a trust thing, and like we trust each other to not do that.
Yeah. Well, and if people start messaging, because I've told you this, like there's been people that were our friends that have sent me things, and I was like, okay, I'm done, and I was like, you need to stop or I'm not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop, so I blocked them, and we've talked about it. And because I'm like, no, I'm not putting our relationship in jeopardy.
Right.
And vice versa.
Right. I mean, like, it's happened to you more than me,
Yeah.
obviously. I think it's happened to me once. But, like, it's just
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like...
I literally just... I don't even tell people to stop anymore. I just say, okay, I'm blocking you because I'm not... Because I do not want to risk our relationship for anything because our relationship is everything to me.
Right.
Like, I love you so much.
Right.
And
Well, but, like, that's the thing. I was like, right now in our relationship, I trust you so much that, like, I don't even think of this as a problem.
Yeah, me either.
It's not a problem. It's literally,
Same.
like, and, like, also, like, even in high school, like, it's like, I told you when people, like, hit on me. Or, like, when something happened.
Yeah, I remember because I would get jealous.
Yeah, and, like, I would get jealous, too, when people say you stuff. But, like, I'm jealous because, like, I just don't want that other person talking to you or whatever, like, in that way. But, like,
yeah.
But, like, I never distrusted you.
No, I would agree.
You know?
Same.
And so, and at this point in our marriage, it's like, I definitely trust you to the point where it's like,
Yeah.
if someone tried to come on you, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get
Yeah.
away from me. I'm married.
Well,
like,
we don't even need to, like, we know each other's passcodes and everything. We can get into each other's phones
oh,
if we
yeah,
really
that
wanted
too,
to.
yeah.
You never give me a reason to, like, be like, oh, I'm going to go through your phone. Sometimes I'll go through your phone in the sense of looking through your pictures, like, just because I'm like, oh, there's pictures I know he's taken of us that I want you have since. But,
Yeah.
And literally all I do is take pictures with your phone. I
Yeah.
steal your phone to take pictures. I don't even
No,
care about anything
There's not
else.
a single thing on my phone that I wouldn't be, like, scared for you to see.
Same.
And that's, like,
Same.
but again, it's like, I don't, again, he's, like,